What's going on, everybody? Justin here with Everything Aquarium, back with another video. Today we're going to be unboxing and setting up the Sicce whale canister filter, the 500 model. Claims to have 18 watts of power. The filter volume is 2.25 gallons, and it's good for 80 to 135 gallons. It's got the quick start primer on there, adjustable flow, ceramic shaft, quick disconnects, and filtration all built into it. We're going to be putting it on the 60-gallon breeder here, along with an FX4, where this is just going to be basically for more media. Just want to be able to have as much bacteria as possible inside that filter, and yeah, have as a healthy tank as possible. So yeah, call it overkill what you want. That itself is probably overkill, but we're not going to have too high a flow. We'll take this circulation pump out of there and turn it down a little bit. So anyways, yeah, let's start with the unboxing. Don't mind the mess, guys. I just got done setting this up and the filter showed up, so wanted to get this going. So right out of the box, we'll pull this out. We got the canister itself. Set that to the side. And then we have some tubing. This is actually for your intake. I'll show you that here later on. This is your hose, obviously. It's all one length, which you can split in half or cut, however you want to do it, in order to get the proper length you want. And then here are all your accessories. You got your tank, intake strainer, your rims, adapter, whatever you like to call it, rim clip, rim clamp. And then these are your media tray handles in order to get them out from inside. I'll show you those in a minute. And now let's go ahead and take out this main piece here. Oops. There's this here. Got quite a long cord on it. I think it's a 7-foot cord if I remember correctly from reading it. And then pretty simple here. I'll show you the features first. We got the disconnectable intake and outflow by simply pulling this out. Able to remove this. Now say for instance like your hoses were attached or whatever and they're still on your tank, you can do that in order to take this off, to take this and wash it out or whatever you want to do with it. And we'll pop it open here from the top, push down, lift up, push down, and lift up. Your motor will come right off. We'll take a peek at this real fast. This is your impeller housing here. As you can see, there is a arrow with a lock that coordinates to your actual drive here. Pull that right off, and this will show you your impeller along with that ceramic shaft that they claim. This can actually come right out of here in order to clean it. You can take this, clean that off, however you want to do things, and then put it back on. And don't lose your little rubber cap there. That goes back on there like so. Back into the magnetic housing. We'll line up our arrow with the unlock. Twist it over to the lock, if I can get it right. I got it backwards. There we go. And now this is your little strainer. Put that back in place. So yeah, that's that section there. You got a nice O-ring around here to keep all your water in, obviously. Now let's move to the trays. As we take a look at this, I'm going to try to get a good focus on it for you guys. Sorry about the lighting. So here is the handles I was telling you about. Just like so. That is your handle for your media trays. Just going to kind of go down the line of the trays here. This first one is just got some ceramic rings in here. Pretty small. Not extremely porous, but they will work. Nice little bonus, of course. Next one. This is where those handles come in handy. You need to apply those, or attach those, excuse me, rather. So that way you can take those out easier when it's in the tank and stuff like that all set up. Here is a medium mesh, I guess, filter, along with some smaller biological media. Bagged up, ready to be washed and put in. Next up on our third tray, we have some chemical filtration, which looks like to be carbon. Whether or not you use that, that's up to you. Completely your choice, not exactly necessary. We have a little bit of a coarse medium sponge as well here again, same as that other one. And then our very final, fourth and final tray, if I can get it out here, is double layer coarse sponge. And that is going to filter out that thicker stuff, that thicker floating stuff that you see in the water, and really help to remove all that gunk. I'll just insert these back into here, and just like that. You can do these in whatever order you want, really. Ideally though, the water starts at the bottom tray and works its way up, so you want to go from coarse to fine to like a filter floss at the end. This is really going to focus on polishing and holding biological media, so we're going to just kind of work with that. Now, something I want to point out here, we're going to jump right into the install. I have the outflow tube here with the adjustable flow. This is something I want to point out because it was kind of confusing to me at first. One thing to notice about these are compression fits. We're talking in regards to how the hose attaches. These are compression style fittings, which means you need to install these sleeves here. Let's take a look at it first. As you can see, the sleeve here has little wedges inside. See how it's like a wedge, like a ramp. It's higher up here than it is down here. That needs to go on like this over the hose, so that way it can compress that hose into the barb here. What I mean by that is basically think of it as an arrow. The wedge back there needs to slide or face where you're attaching it to, where the hose is attaching. So we're going to put the thick end of the wedge first, and you can see what part of that is by where it comes up to. The wedge actually comes right up to the rim of the coupler there. Slide that on over, get it out of the way, then you will attach it to the barb. Now this is the same thing on the filter side of things here, except it's just not big of a barb. You can see it there, we'll work on that here in a second. Go ahead and slide that on as far up as you can get it. And then we'll take this, and the way this works is it slides right over, and you can feel it click into place like that. And see how it's kind of stuck on there? You'll pull it off if you want to. You can see just how it wedges on there. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Again, you'll see it slip. That's where it needs to be. Now you really would have to pull on that. Even then, it backed off a little bit, but that's exactly where it stops. No way is that going anywhere. Not in a million years. And that is simply how you attach that. Now to attach the outflow tube section here. Take this guy, goes in there like that, and this would attach there, just like so. Makes sense? So far it does. Now, we would attach the suction cups and then go from there. Disregard that last clip, I realized I made a mistake. The way this goes is these notched ends go in on the nozzle to be able to wedge in there. And then this just friction fits inside of there like that. And you can adjust that whatever way you want it to go, as well as turn that to deflect flow a certain direction. And that's your directional basically there. Then you have, like I said earlier, your flow weight right here, which is set to max when it's pointing at the arrow. Then you can adjust it down to minimum right there. Anything in between, like, quarter, half, 3/4, full, if that makes sense there. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Quick rundown of the suction cups now. As for them, they're pretty self-explanatory. One slips in here, like so. Then you have another one that would go the opposite way, pull the little tab back on the rim clamp here, like that. That would slide in there, and that would go on the inside of the tank and clamp to the glass. Again, pretty self-explanatory, but just wanted to show that. Now for the media tray clips, very self-explanatory. Again, here you take it, you're gonna wanna put it on the side. I like to do either opposite or the same side all the way down. I guess you could do whatever way you want. These have just a push connect style fitting. As you can see, there's 2 notches right there for it on both sides. You can see that. And then we'll take that and just simply line it up. These can be a little difficult. Just gotta find a notch. We're doing this live, folks. Right into place. Takes a little bit of work, but you'll get there. And that's not going anywhere now. And then you'll have an easy way to lift the basket in and out. So I'm gonna go wash this media, and then we'll come back. Just so you can get a quick idea how this goes. This is that clear tube I was talking to you about earlier. This goes into the intake section, and then you put your strainer on the end here. Simple like that. This can be cut. I am going to cut it down to about half this length, just because, as you can see here, if I were to run this as it is now, it would sit right about there, and you can see the strainer is going to be taller than the tank basically. So I'm going to cut this to not half length, but I'll take a quarter of it off at least, or a third. We'll break it into thirds. Let's go with that. So I'm going to cut this now and come back once we're done. All right, guys, going for the connection on the other side just so I can show you it again. We're going for the intake side this time. Flop it over. Push it on over the barb. Get it up there as far as it can go. Take your coupler, slide it over. Simple as that. I'll show you on the opposite side when we get to that here shortly. Now what I'm going to do is come back over to our filter head here, pull that latch and remove our connections here in order to take our other coupler for our intake side now, excuse me, which is on the left. This is our left side. This would be forward facing here. As you can see on here, left side is in, right side is out. So we're going to push this onto our left side. These are swivel, by the way. Push that on as far as it can go. Same thing with this. Push this on. There we go. Now we'll just duplicate that with the other side, and we will go from there. Okay, back for the filter media here. I am running mine quite a bit different than it comes in the packaging. This is the second tray in there. As you can see, I did use that carbon mix, whatever it is, on top of one of those white sponges. Below that is the 2 blue sponges. Here, I have some floss as well as that other white sponge. Now, quick note, I didn't cram this full, or else it will clog up quickly and restrict your flow. I just did a small layer, one single layer on top, just like that. That goes in. And now, this is full of just biological media, the included media, plus some extra seeded media to give this filter itself a little jump start. And that fits in there nice and snug like it should. Sorry for that cutting off. My phone died, so I got it plugged in now. Anyways, I showed you that. I put all my media in there, all the baskets are in there, put the top on, and now we're gonna bring the top over to here as soon as I set my tripod back up. So not called the top, but this is called the main unit itself. So we're gonna move that over here and try to, if I can get this on video, slide this in here. Nice and neatly. Then we'll go ahead and get this where it needs to go. Lock that into place, and that is pretty much locked in. Now, this will try to orient that here in a little bit. Anyways, we'll get to that. So now this filter is ready to go. All we need to do is come up here, and I will show you that in order to start priming it by taking this, and you just go up and down. As soon as you get that siphon, it will do the work for you. A couple of those. Now it's filling up. As you can hear, we're priming and filling up right now. The device is unplugged, and we will go ahead and turn it on as soon as we get that fully filled. All right, here is the output of it. Got it adjusted, you can see it spin around. That's probably how I'll have it, something like that. Or maybe even pointing toward this other wall here, like that. I wouldn't mind putting a spray bar on it. That would, I think, be nice. But for now, we'll just run it like this. Just like that. Break up that a little bit. Now that is on max. It does turn down quite a bit. As you see, that's the minimum there. You can turn it down even more if you wanted to get it real nice and slow, but still have that volume. Not the most well-designed head, outflow head, whatever you would like to call it, but it does work. If I had the water level up higher, you wouldn't be able to hear it as much. So yeah, that's about as low as you could turn it. You could really get this to a trickle. Like you could put that on a beta tank if you wanted to. That's how slow that could go. Probably not good to restrict the filter that much, but just an idea. So for now, we're gonna keep it on max and set it up with my other FX4 down here. And we're gonna let that run and see how that does for a while. And everything seems to be good so far. So if you guys got any questions or comments, leave it down below in the comment section. We will come back later on with a, maybe like a 2 or 3 month review somewhere down the line like that, 90-day review. And I'll let you know how this thing's doing and what I think about it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that follow button if you haven't already. Subscribe, comment, all the good stuff, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.